I'm proud and privileged to introduce Governor Andy Beshear.
So who's ready to get Tommy Adams elected? Folks, let me start by saying thank you, and a personal thank you. You know, most everybody here in 2019 pitched in to do something that people said was impossible. But we came together and we made Matt Bevin a one-term governor. And when we look back on that race, maybe like we're looking at Tommy's race, we thought we knew what it was all about. We thought it was a race about right versus wrong. Turns out it was much more important than that. It was a race about life versus death. If you think about how our world and our Commonwealth would have been different with Matt Bevin as governor during that pandemic, you know how important each and every one of these races are. So for every door you knocked in 2019, for every postcard that you wrote, for every difficult conversation you had with an uncle over Thanksgiving dinner, let me say every single bit of it mattered. And I hope you're really proud of what we did together in 2019. Come on in, and what this administration has done since. How are you guys? It's nice to meet you. I'm Andy. I will admit to you the question that I get asked the most is, Andy, did you have any idea what you were getting into? And my response is always the same. No, did you? Listen, it is okay to admit that the last 3 years have been tough. We've lived through a pandemic, multiple ice storms, flooding, tornadoes, a war in Europe. Who would have thought in our lifetime we'd live through a war in Europe? And even the current inflation that, while temporary, is difficult, whether that's at the pump or at the grocery store. But I'm here tonight not with a message of the difficulty of the present, but of the excitement and the possibilities of the future. Because I'm going to tell you, I have faith. I have faith in the people of Kentucky that we can meet every single one of these challenges. I have faith because I saw us come together during COVID, especially early on, and sacrifice to protect the lives of one another. I have faith because I saw us build out a vaccine network, the likes of which the world has never seen. I have faith because I saw how we opened our hearts and our homes after tornadoes and after flooding. And I have faith because I have seen us rise up to every single challenge that we have faced, and we've done it together with the goodness that we see as Kentuckians and caring about our neighbor a heck of a lot more than the argument that we were talking about a month or two before. And I'm here to tell you, folks, as we push through these challenges of the present, we've got a chance with leadership like Tommy to build a future, the likes of which we never thought was possible for our kids and for our grandkids. I mean, just think about it. Last year, even in the midst of this pandemic, we didn't break, we shattered every economic development record on the books, and it wasn't even close. On average year, we bring about $5 billion in new private sector investment. On a great year, $7.5 billion. On the best year, $9 billion. Last year, we brought in $11.2 billion in investment. And that's important because it comes with jobs, good jobs, jobs that give dignity to our people, that help our families know how they can better the lives of their kids, that give us hope, and that show the places we can go as a Commonwealth. On a good year, we create 7,500 new jobs. On a great year, 9,000 new jobs. Last year, we created a record 18,000 new jobs. Wait for it. At the second highest wage we've ever announced. Yeah. And look at what happened along the way. We became the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America. We became the agriculture technology capital of the the United States of America. Think about living out our faith and values, the fishes and the loaves, at the same time that we create great jobs in Kentucky. We got to increase our agricultural yield by 70% by the year 2050 just to feed the world's growing population. We can be there for the people of the world while at the same time creating an incredible industry that provides incredible good jobs and green jobs for the people of Kentucky. And just think, for the first time in my lifetime, the biggest companies on planet Earth are picking us, are picking you, are picking Kentucky for the biggest investments they've ever made. You know, when Ford Motor Company and SK Innovation announced that battery plant in E-Town, it wasn't just the single largest investment in the history of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. At nearly $5.8 billion and 5,000 new jobs, it was the biggest investment in the history of Ford Motor Company, and they chose Kentucky. When Envision, the makers of the Nissan Leaf, were looking where to put their battery facility, and they chose Bowling Green. They chose us, Kentucky, at $2 billion. It was the biggest investment in the history of that company. Go north. Most people don't realize that the biggest investment in the history of Amazon is at that northern Kentucky, Cincinnati airport. It's on our side of the river. Go west. Folks, we announced the biggest investment in the history of Christian County is Send Elements. It's going to take the batteries in our phone, recycle them, and turn them into batteries for these electric vehicles. That's not only the biggest investment in that area of western Kentucky. You're going to hear some announcements on the next couple days where it's going to grow. Go up to Henderson. Pratt Paper's investing $600 million, creating the cleanest, greenest recycled paper mill on planet Earth. Yeah. It's going to make sure if you have the number of Amazon boxes that pile up every single day at our home, that not one tree is cut down to make those boxes. Go to eastern Kentucky and look at the fact that the biggest greenhouse in North America is in Moorhead. That in Inez, we are growing apples on top of abandoned coal mines. I'm telling you right now, we are seeing more investments and more possibility in our economy than ever before in our lifetime. That people have woken up and are seeing that Kentucky not only has the greatest people out there, but when they bet on us, we do not let them down. We have a chance. I'm telling you, we have a chance. Those of us in this room to be the generations that change everything. That made sure there was more opportunity for every generation that came after us. That made sure that there is more opportunity whether you are going into the workforce from high school, from a 2-year KCTC degree, from a certificate in our basic trades, or from a 4-year degree, that you are going to be able to get a job that you can raise your family on working just that one job. And we got a chance. We got a chance. Be the folks, Sherilyn, that achieved that collective dream of every parent and grandparent across this Commonwealth. Because Derek and I have talked about this, we all share one in common. That our kids and our grandkids will never have to leave Kentucky or the area they're from if they don't want to. Because we make sure we have every opportunity available for them right here. Let's have good jobs. Let's having a healthcare system that is available and works for everybody. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but when we talk about bringing access to everybody, we're building the first hospital in the west end of Louisville in 150 years. So we've got this historic moment in front of us. We're emerging from one that's dark and difficult, and we're going into one that has almost endless possibilities. So we've got to be the ones that approach it with responsibility, that make sure it reaches every part of the state, especially parts that are too often left out. We announced a new company in Bell County in far eastern Kentucky, and in Fulton County in far western Kentucky on the same day last week. it means we also have to have jobs and opportunity in every neighborhood, in every one of our cities, including the neighborhoods here in Lexington and other places that are far too often left out. And to do that, we need to make sure we have people in Frankfort that care more about our families than their own self-interest. We got to have legislators that care less about what's going on in Washington, D.C., and more about what's going on in your community. We got to have somebody that when they talk about your kitchen table, it's not a political prop. It's about the education of your children, about you being able to afford prescription drugs, and not simply talk where they further try to enrich themselves and their rich bodies. Folks, we have a General Assembly that gave themselves a pay raise in this last session. And we've got one that's trying to put a constitutional amendment on the books, when they can call themselves in and pay themselves as many days of the year as they want. They now make more for a part-time job than the average Kentuckian makes working full-time every day. Derek Graham and Sherilyn Stevenson have stood up against the vote. They tell you they need more friends and more help. We need a fighter. And I can't think of somebody better to rescue our people than somebody who already rescues our people. Pastor Tommy is a passionate advocate. He has been there and worked for so many of us in this room. He truly believes, and he's not afraid to fight for what's right. And then just look at what he does in his spare time, working to help people at their lowest moment. Truly the lost, the lonely, the left behind. Getting out there and making sure people can be reunited with their families. How often do we have a chance not only to replace someone in Frankfort that needs to be replaced, but to replace them with a true American hero? And let me introduce you to your next state representative. I got to tell you, Clark County and many other areas need one. Tommy Adams.
Thank you, Governor, for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This is the part of politics that feels the best. To know that you have people on your team, and to know that when we work together, we can actually accomplish the things that we set out for. I've been telling my dad, who, by the way, says hello, I will, that I feel no matter what happens in this election, that we have already won because we have made inroads in our community, and we are building a party back up in Clark County and in the new district part of Lexington, and we're going to build something that we can be proud of. We're going to work out there every single day. I look around this room, and the people that have come out to support me, I really thought that once I put my name out there, the doors would open, crowds would flow through, and people would say, hey, that guy's right for this job. Let's just say that over the time running, I have come to understand just how important every one of you is to me, because I can't take it lightly anymore. There's no way we can take your support for granted. And a lot of us just need to know that we're not alone in this fight. And I tell you, it's lonely out there sometimes. It's lonely out there sometimes to have you here, sir, tonight, to show us that we're actually fighting the good fight and that we're doing good work. That's really what matters. And I want the people of Clark County and South Lexington to know that we have you behind us. I came into this as a teacher who felt like I couldn't support my students once they walked out of the classroom. I'm doing it now. I can't stand up for my colleagues in the classroom all of the time because there's some constraints there. But out here, I don't have to hold back. One of the things that most of the political candidates that I've talked to have said is that one thing that they wished is that they didn't hold back as much as they did. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight that for the next 3 weeks, and for as long as it's going to take, we are not going to hold back in our support for our communities. We're not going to let people that aren't out there supporting our neighbors act like they have our support, because we're going to show them where we stand. Anyway, guys, this right here is just an opportunity for me to say thank you, because tonight we have people from our community who are out here doing more work than I am, and they deserve to be thanked. We have people here that are out here working our community every single day, teaching in our community every single day, working to get homes for people every single day, fighting to get our candidates elected every single day, feeding our families. Feeding our kids right here, yes. You have someone here that's going to stand for teachers in public schools. You have someone that's going to stand with workers and their families. You have someone right here that is committed to making sure that people can eat, that people don't go hungry, and we need to make sure that when they have food to eat, that there's a roof over their heads. We need to make sure that we have affordable housing for the people in our communities, and we need to push for the investment and the innovation that our governor has been bringing into this state to continue. And I'm going to make sure that it comes to the areas of this state that I represent. I had the opportunity to go out to Mountain Parkway, the new opening of the next section. We're almost done. It's coming. And we're going to have four lanes all the way, and that's going to be a new pipeline of investment for our community. And what we hope is that we can bring places that are just like this, that are a beacon of light and a beacon of hope for their neighborhoods, to other places in Clark County, in South Lexington, and to create a movement where we can do this all together. What I want you to know is that I'm a positive person running for office, and if you're here tonight, you know that. But what I need you to not do is be afraid to say that for the next 3 weeks. I want you, this is not always just about money, though that helps. What I want you to do is I want you to be unafraid to say my name every conversation you have. Say that we are doing great things. Don't be afraid. I'm not a candidate you need to be ashamed of. We can do this if we work together. It really helps to have some credibility by your side. Thank you for coming out tonight. I want you to meet the people in the room. Representative Stevenson, thank you for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I'm trying to take over several of Pearl's precincts, and with her help and with yours, we can win that part of Lexington.
And we can help her win too.
She has a strong effort on her hands right now, and she's knocked more doors than anybody that I know. And I know that we can win that race for her. We need to. Representative Derek Grams, I want to thank you for that early phone call that we had about the possibility of you running for office, because I wouldn't be here without that conversation. And I want to say, I was worried for a long time that we weren't going to get to this part, but people are finally listening. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Former Representative Margaret Hopkins, thank you very much for coming out. We have Chuck A was here earlier. He's running a hard race. We have several community leaders here tonight. I don't leave until you've shaken their hands. I'm going to stop talking, but I just need to tell you while I'm up here how thankful I am. Friendship, being a good neighbor, focusing on good communication and relationships can make this place better. Everybody in this room is a testament to that. Thank you. Let's win this one. Thank you very much.